Hey ladies, it's Tish Latrice back again with another video, and I'm going to be showing you how I made this wig using the closure. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to get the closure and put on the spandex cap. And what I'm doing here is I'm aligning it to make sure that the closure is going to be straight on the wig. So once you get it to where you want it to be, take a T-pin and put it at the corner of it to just keep it in place. And then go to the other side and put a T-pin at the other side so that way when you sew it, it won't be moving around. Now make sure when you're doing this that the closure is all the way over as far as it can go. You don't want it to have any lumps or bumps or clumps or anything like that. Make sure it is completely flat, and do the same with the back corners. Make sure it is flat, ladies, because if it's not, you're going to be looking like a cone head. Now the easiest thing to do is to take the hair and put it in a ponytail. You see that, ladies? Look how flat that is. Nice. Now ladies, take your needle and put it at the corner where the closure meets the cap, and when you do it, you stick it in there, and then you're going to wrap the thread around the needle at least 2 or 3 times and then pull it through. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm just making sure that my closure is a little over the spandex cap, because I don't want my wig to be looking crazy, y'all. So here I go with the needle. I'm going to go ahead and stick it through. There we go. And then wrap the thread around a few times, and then just go ahead and yank that bad boy through. Now make sure that you do not get any snags or anything, because with this thread, girl, it is easy to get some knots up in there, and then you got to go back and fix it. So what I'm doing right here, I'm just making sure that that it's tight and it's knotted up real good. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in for y'all so y'all can see how I did this. Now I'm gonna show you also, for the people who don't know how to sew, that are beginners, how I thread it. I do like this fence method, which is when I stick it through there and then I wrap the thread behind the needle, and then I pull it through. And then, like I said, no lumps or clumps. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the thread and I'm pulling it, so that way I'm getting all the loose thread. Okay, so here goes the method I was telling you about. So I'm going to show you guys again. Take the needle, put it into the closure, the top of the spandex, and through the edge of the closure. Do not go into the elastic band. You do not want to do that. That's no. Just go to the top layer. Now take the thread and put it behind there, and then pull it through. Now it creates like this little fence method that I've seen, that I learned a few years back, and I really like it. But if you guys don't want to do this, it's fine. You can just thread it a complete simpler way, just ordinary. But I personally like it this way, which is why I do it this way. Okay ladies, so once you start at the bottom and work your way up, then you're going to just go ahead and continue to do the back half. But once you get to that back corner, you're going to go ahead and stop and then knot it, and then start at the beginning of the other side of the frontal and work your way back. Now the reason why we're doing that is because we want to get the frontal as flat, as absolutely flat as we can, because we don't want a cone head. And if it's not flat, then you will you will have a cone head, and then you're going to be walking around looking crazy. So just go ahead and start at the beginning like we did when we first started the other side, and then sew your way up, ladies. Make sure it is flat. No cone heads for us. Okay ladies, let's start again. Stick that needle through the very top layer to the closure, and then wrap the thread around once again to knot it, and then you can go ahead and start sewing. Make sure that you do knot it at least 2 or 3 times, so that way everything is in place, nothing is loose, and it is nice and flat. Now if you have loose string up there, the frontal will slide, and when you wear it, it will look a hot mess basically. So go ahead ladies and start sewing up again. So also one thing I want to say is when you're sewing this frontal up here, make sure you do it extremely close, because if you do it too far apart, you're gonna have lumps basically up there. So make sure you guys just go as close together as possible and get it nice and tight. Is done. You see that? Now that is pure perfection. Nice and flat, ladies. Nice and flat. And that's exactly how you want yours to be. Nice and flat. Okay, ladies, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start with the bundles in the back. So go ahead and get your bundles out, ladies, and then start at the very back. Well, that's what I do at least. And then I put a T-pin in there, and then I just go across to as far as I want it to go, and then put another T-pin in there to keep it in place, so that way when I'm sewing, it's not all over the place. Now, you will notice on my other videos that I make my wigs different every single time. That just honestly depends on, one, the type of hair it is, if it's straight, if it's curly, or if the bundles are bad, or two, however I feel that day, ladies, honestly. So don't get confused. Like, just do whatever method is best for you. Right here, you see me taking a rift and pulling it back over. Now I'm doubling it. That's simply because the hair is curly and I want to make sure it's full, but full in the right places. I don't want it to look too full in the front and the top and it looks like a wig. You know, I want it to be more natural. So the first two layers in the back and on the sides, I will be doubling, but you guys don't have to do that. It's just whatever you guys want, you know, personal preference. So right here, I'm going to take the needle and stick it through both of the wefts, and then stick it through the very top layer of the spandex cap. Do not, ladies, go through that elastic. Do not. Just go through the top layer. I do my knots differently here. So what I'm going to do is stick the needle through and then stick it back through just the spandex, and then wrap that string around the thread and then go ahead and pull that through. And I do that at least 2-3 times, depending on how tight it is. If it's as tight as I want it, I'll just do it maybe two times. But then if it's not as tight as I want it, then I'm gonna just keep knotting that bad boy up until, you know, it's as tight as I really want it to be. And then once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead with the fence method again. Now in the very back, I don't really do it as close as I do the closure, because it is in the very I'm just gonna go ahead and keep sewing. Next layer, I'm not putting the bundles all the way up to meet the closure, simply because it is curly. Now if it was my straight hair, I would do that, but since it's curly, I want it to be like really full in the back and the sides and not so much in the front. So I'm basically just gonna keep working my way up to the front until I get closer to the frontal, simply because I do not like really thick hair. Some people like it, and simply for myself, I do not. I prefer more of a natural, nice, sleek look, because that extra hair just does not work for me. Now, if you guys want, you're more than welcome to bring the track all the way up to the closure and just keep going back and forth from closure to closure, wrapping it around. That's perfectly fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The wig will still turn out great and beautiful. but just like I said before, depending on the wig and the texture and the quality of the hair, I do use different techniques. So now we're getting closer to the closure. Do not get scared, ladies. Just do the same thing we've been doing. So all the way up, go through the wefts at the very edge and then stick it into the closure at the edge of the closure. You don't want to go deep into the closure, just at the very edge, knot it and keep going. So now that we're at this point, I'm going to start doing single whips and start going from side to side all the way up. I'm not going to space them too close together because it is the top and I don't want it to be really full at the top. I like it kind of thin or thinner at the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and work my way up until I meet the closure. We're at the very last part. We're going to take the last whip and put it at the edge of the closure, and we're going to sew it into the closure, but we're not going to sew it deep into the closure, only at the very edge. You want to do this simply because you don't want a gap between the bundles and the closure. You want to make it look natural. Now y'all probably looking like, what is she doing with them scissors? Well, I couldn't find my little eyebrow razor that I usually use, so girl, I had to improvise. So I'm taking this to do my baby hairs. It's actually a lot harder than it looks with scissors, but your girl made it work. Yes, baby hairs, baby hairs. Now it's time for me to start plucking, so I'm just going to start plucking until I get the desired look I want. Now plucking is very time consuming, so just go ahead and pluck and be patient, girl. That's what I have to keep telling myself to get through it. So this is the end result. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Make sure you do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also hit the little bell so you guys won't miss out any future videos. See you guys next time.